So it's true that Arnold Schwarzenegger got a lot of his inspiration from Reg Park. Let's listen today how a top South African also got his inspiration from Reg Park. Morning, Kevin.
Hello, Sean.
Kevin, is there something you would like to tell us more about Reg?
I was in the Air Force Gym 1966, and I had been training for a few years as a youngster at school. I wasn't doing bodybuilding, I was actually doing weightlifting. What I was doing, I wasn't so sure myself, but I trained for weightlifting. And a friend in the Air Force Gym in 1966 told me that there was a contest in Joburg. Would I like to go along with him? It was, I believe, a Mr. Republic competition held at the Joburg City Hall, and Reg Park was promoting it, and Larry Scott, he was the reigning Mr. Olympia at the time, would be there guest posing, and there would be a competition as well. So we managed to get leave, and we went, I think it was a Wednesday night, and I saw this magnificent competition. I'd never seen anything like this in my life before. I remember was a fellow called Louis Liefman, who I believe won, and Frans van den Berg. They all placed, and it boggled my mind seeing these guys. And next thing I saw, Larry Scott come on and pose. He was the reigning Mr. Olympia, and he had these fantastic set of arms, and he was fantastic. And next thing, Reg Park himself came up. Well, to be honest, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I didn't know anything at that stage, but I had to go backstage after the competition and shake Reg's hand and say to him that what I saw that day with him and Larry Scott, and that I considered him far superior to Larry Scott. Of course, I didn't know anything at that time, but that's how much he impressed me. And then I started doing bodybuilding after that. And when I got weekend passes from the Air Force Gym, I would go to Joburg to an uncle of mine, Joss, and an auntie Anita, and I'd spend weekends with them. And on a Saturday morning, I'd jump on a bus and go into Joburg and go and train at our Reg's gym and meet all these guys who I'd seen in that competition. And it was quite amazing having all these people around and that. But I was scared out of my wits of Reg, because this incredible man who stood in the middle of the floor and shouted at everyone and told them to shut up and keep training, not to talk and to train. And one day I'm sitting there doing some exercise, and this guy comes and sits behind me, and I nearly died of fright. It was Reg, and I was expecting a clout across the ear or something for something I was possibly doing wrong. And then he just started talking to me, and he was talking to me about making his Hercules films. He did a few Hercules films, and he started talking to me about it's incredible. And he sat there and he spoke to me about this, and that was how I met Reg, and we started talking, and he started helping me and showing me the odd thing or two, and that was quite an amazing thing, considering. That's one of the stories, sure.
Great, thank you, Kevin.